Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So tonight we're going to talk about Dallas. I did a video on it at the time when the incident first happened. I have to say I'm pretty pleased with the verdict. I'm pretty pleased with the outcome there. I'm a little surprised, to be honest. It's sad we live in a society where when the wheels of justice appear to be spinning in the right direction, it is surprising. But it is what it is. We'll have to wait till sentencing to see if justice is truly served or not. I want to talk about the reactions to the verdict, not the ones you're probably thinking about. Yes, there is a huge racial divide in how people are viewing this. It's not really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the divide between gun owners, because I'm watching y'all right now. I've never seen so many gun owners hand ammunition to gun control advocates in my entire life. I've never seen it. It boggles the mind. I'm going to start by saying that if you somehow feel that this deserves a lesser charge or leniency in some way, you're not responsible enough to own a firearm. And to be honest, the replies and comments that I've seen, y'all have me second-guessing my stance on gun control. Y'all make me nervous. Let's go through the facts real quick. She walked into someone else's home, pulled her weapon, and shot and killed an unarmed person. Those are the facts. Full stop. End of story. That's what happened. Indisputable. For people who are very fond of saying stuff like facts over feelings and facts don't care about your feelings, y'all are all up in your feelings right now. Well, she was confused. She was confused. And so what? That a lack of situational awareness does not provide grounds for lethal force. She was confused. If she was confused and that disoriented, she shouldn't have been armed. Well, she thought she was in the right place, but she wasn't. So, she wasn't. That's providing a very easy defense to any home invader at that point. Well, I thought this was my house. Providing a very easy defense to anybody who's delusional. Well, I thought the EMS were aliens trying to abduct me. It doesn't matter. What you thought does not matter. The facts matter. The facts, she had no business being there. None. She had no right to be there. Period. Well, we have to take into account her background. And that warrants, a little leniency. I am taking into account her background. That makes it worse, not better. What is rule 1 before you pull that trigger? Be certain what you're shooting, right? Have a real good sight picture. Know what you're doing. Understand what's happening. That's rule 1. She didn't follow that. If she had, we wouldn't be having this conversation because he'd still be alive. Well, she said, "Let me see your hands." First, we don't know that. And second, he's under absolutely no obligation to comply with somebody who just walks into his home and pulls a weapon. He has no obligation to do that. And as a police officer, she should understand what auditory exclusion is. So if she walked in, surprised him, she should understand that it's going to take a moment to register what's happening because adrenaline's pumping. He may not have even heard her say that, if she did. Well, it was an accident. No, it wasn't. It was not an accident. It was not. She intended to pull her weapon. She intended to pull the trigger. An accident is when you are shooting at the home invader after exercising due care and a round goes wide and hits a civilian. That's an accident. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't premeditated. Why'd she pull her weapon? Intent to use lethal force in a place she had no business being. None. Doesn't matter that she thought she was in the right spot. What she says doesn't matter. If you can look at this case and somehow find a way to say, well, it needs a lesser charge, we need to show leniency, you need to turn in your weapons, you need to sell your firearms, you're not responsible enough to own a weapon. You're not. You are providing just cases of ammo to gun control advocates because you are making it very clear that firearm owners are irresponsible, that they can justify walking into someone's home and shooting an unarmed person. Might makes right, I guess. Yeah, no. There's no mitigating factors here. She was tired. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you're that disoriented, you shouldn't have a weapon on you. And if you're not responsible enough to know that, you shouldn't own a weapon, and you certainly shouldn't be in law enforcement. And here's where that other component comes in. What if the demographic information was switched? What if a black guy had walked into a white woman's apartment, gunned her down while she was unarmed, and then said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was tired"? What would you be saying then? This is a moment when you may really want to look at your biases. You know, there's a lot of people out there who truly don't believe that they have any biases whatsoever, that they're not racist, that they're colorblind, whatever. In cases like this, it comes out. Sometimes you may not even recognize your own biases. But if you can justify this, I'm willing to bet there's one at play. Because no responsible gun owner is going to look at this and say, "Oh, yeah, slap on the wrist. Could happen to anybody." If you think this could happen to anybody, you don't need a weapon. You're not responsible enough for it. Rights come with responsibilities. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.